I hate it when somebody says espresso instead of espresso. It's even worse when the shop itself has espresso in the name instead of espresso. It's like they're pretending to be a professional and messing up on a very, very basic detail of it. Today I'm going to be going over espresso and the recipe that you will encounter if you're working with specialty coffee. And even if you're not working with specialty coffee, it's a recipe you can adapt that will drastically improve the taste of the shots that you are extracting. So the first number that is brought up in the recipe is the dose. It is a gram measurement. These are the grams that go in your basket. So normally, let's say if you've got a dose that is 20 to 21 grams recommended, you might want to, when the coffee is young, use 21. Sometimes you might want to use 20, depending on how the beans are. And then as they age, you adjust. You drop like half a gram. It's very, very good to do like a little bit of a test side by side to have a 21 gram and then a 20 gram. You will have to adjust your dose, not the dose, sorry, the grind, to ensure that you are getting the same second extraction. However, it is a good way to test which dose will be right. The second step is the time. Now, normally this is a second thing, and you can have a good vary in the seconds recommended, maybe like 23 seconds to 27 seconds. But again, there will normally be a sweet spot that you should pick depending on the flavors that you're trying to pull. If you go kind of light, it can give you flavors that are very acidic, very intense, very bold. If you pull a little bit longer, you will get a fairly watery flavors. So depending on the kind of beans you're working with, will depend on the time that will matter. And again, with the age of the coffee, the time will vary as it ages. So it's a thing to look out for. The third thing is your volume. And the volume, it means like the amount of water that goes through your shot. So a normal espresso is about 30 ml per shot, so you want 60 ml of liquid going through. However, it does vary, and each bean will have a better volumetric, again, depending on the age, so have a play around with that. We'll also change your time, so make sure that you're adjusting your grind to accommodate that. However, with the volume itself, that's where you get your ristretto shot, which is shorter. You cut it off shorter if you have it set right. Otherwise, you'll burn it. You can have linguino. Linguino shot is where you extract more water pulled through. It's basically like a long black, but I like to think of it as like a dirty man's long black. Some people do like it. I will leave that up to a matter of opinion. However, right now I'm just going to go over a little bit of basics of how the shot extraction works. So we have a group handle that has our grind particles in it. So the grind particles themselves are little finite cut up bits of the coffee bean. And inside of each of these particles are little pockets of gas. So those pockets of gas, when they sit like that, have water go through them. And the water at that temperature and pressure pulls those pockets of gas out and makes the oil, which becomes our shot of espresso. And then as the coffee shot is extracted, the coffee filter itself expands to create the perfect coffee shot and filter. So some things to look out for with your actual shot is channeling. Channeling can occur by accidentally tapping your group handle too hard on the bench or on your group head, and that will make the coffee puck crack and the water flow through without taking in the oil it needs to. This is a common problem that actually occurs in a fair few cafes I work at, and it really frustrates me. So yes, these are the three aspects of extracting excellent espressos, and that is your dose, your time, and your volume.